Imagine you were doing your work and suddenly you change into a panda. Now, why do you think that would happen? Something similar happens to a character in the poem that we will be reading today. So, let's get started. Hello well-wishers and welcome to my channel Aspiring Minds. In today's video, we are going to decode the line-by-line meaning and analysis of the poem A Legend of Northland written by Phoebe Cary. So grab your virtual seats and let's begin. Phoebe Cary lived between the years 1824 to 1871. She was an American poet and she was the younger sister of the well-known poet Alice Cary. She was a prominent writer of her time and an advocate for women's rights. Her poems often reflected social and moral concerns. A Legend of Northland is a moral poem. It tells the story of a selfish woman who is transformed into a woodpecker by Saint Peter. The poem is a legend or a folklore-style narrative that imparts or teaches us a moral lesson about selfishness and the result of one's actions of being selfish. Therefore, it portrays a woman who is unwilling to share even a small portion of her food with a hungry traveler, and as a result of this selfish action, she is transformed into a woodpecker. The poem begins with a description of Northland. You can see a map of it in front of you, where the days are short and the winter nights are exceptionally long, making it difficult for people to sleep through the darkness and the cold, extreme weather conditions. It sets the geographical and the atmospheric setting of the story that is there in the poem. Now in stanza 2 we see the poem introduces the mode of transportation over here. Reindeer pulled sledges, and the clothing of the children is also described, which emphasizes the harsh wintry conditions of Northland, because we see the children when they are wrapped up and all covered with warm clothes, they resemble bears' cubs. The speaker acknowledges in stanza 3 that what is going to follow in the poem is a curious story that may not be entirely believed to be true, but it still carries a valuable lesson for the listeners. And in stanza 4, we are introduced to Saint Peter, a prominent figure in the Christian tradition who is depicted as living on earth and preaching sermons of God to people. As Saint Peter had been traveling places preaching the sermon of God, he arrives at a cottage while traveling where a woman has been baking cakes. Now, Saint Peter was extremely hungry, fatigued from fasting, and he politely asks the woman for a piece of cake from her supply because she had been baking a lot of cakes. So he asks for one slice of cake. The woman then begins baking a cake for Saint Peter but finds it to be too big and she's not being able to give it out. She's having that sense of hesitation in her because she does not want to give away such a big part of the cake. Therefore, in stanza 8, we see that she kneads another smaller cake and she continues to knead the dough, but it still appears to be very large to give away. So you can see how there's a constant sense of hesitation in the woman. Not satisfied with the correct size of the cake to give away to Saint Peter, here, if a saint or a person has come out of generosity, when you're wanting to help, you'll give away whatever you can, and because you're getting the opportunity to help someone. But in the case of the woman, she is having this kind of conflict in her mind because she does not want to give away a big part of the cake. So she tries to make an even smaller cake, but she can't bring herself to give it away either, and baked it as thin as wafer. That is how thin a consistency of cake she tries to bake, but still she's not satisfied. She still finds it too big to give away. The woman is so selfish that she considers even the tiniest cakes to be too precious to share and stores them on the shelf. She puts it away on the shelf and does not ultimately give it to Saint Peter. Now remember, Saint Peter is a saint. He is supposed to be a very calm and composed person, but this kind of behavior of the woman really makes Saint Peter angry. And now, after being irritated by the woman's selfishness, he is angry, and because he's getting more angry because he's extremely hungry and faint, he's feeling weak and tired out of hunger, and he gets extremely angry and annoyed with the woman. And then in stanza 12 we see that Saint Peter, out of anger, scolds the woman, declaring that her selfishness is not fit for her to be in human form and the comforts that she enjoys, and therefore we'll see soon what's going to happen. Saint Peter punishes her by transforming the woman into a bird and a woodpecker, and this woodpecker would spend her days searching for food by constantly boring into hard dry wood. This is a kind of a curse that he gives to the woman out of extreme anger, exhaustion and hunger. So this is how he is irritated with the woman and curses her that she will become a kind of a woodpecker now. The woman's transformation then into a woodpecker is described in stanza 14. Then she went up through the chimney, never speaking a word, and out of the top flew a woodpecker, for she was changed to a bird. As she ascends through the chimney, she emerges from out of the chimney as a bird, and therefore the woman is transformed into a woodpecker as promised and cursed by the saint. It is over here that she is described in stanza 15 as having a scarlet cap on her head. You can see how a woodpecker actually has that kind of a pattern on its head. So probably this is because of this legend. But the rest of her appearance is charred and blackened. She's got a black color. See, it's written, and that was left the same, but all the rest of her clothes were burnt black as coal in the flame. Because remember, the woodpecker or the woman passed through the chimney and then it flew out as a woodpecker. So the entire body is black, only it retains a scarlet cap. You can see that from the appearance of the woodpecker's image that you can see on your screens. And finally, in the final stanza, it states that the transformed woman, now a woodpecker, is commonly seen in the woods, where she continues to bore into the trees searching for food. She continuously has to peck into the wood in order to get food. Now, after a detailed analysis of the poem stanza-wise, let us look at just these three aspects or themes of the poem. The poem explores the theme of selfishness, showing how the woman's unwillingness to share the piece of cake leads to her transformation into a woodpecker, and therefore this story serves as a cautionary tale. It cautions the readers about the consequences or the results of excessive greed and lacking generosity and sensitivity for others. Next, we also see that the poem deals with the theme of transformation. There is a dramatic transformation from a human to a bird, highlighting that one's actions can lead to a deep and unexpected change in one's life. And it also teaches us a moral lesson about selflessness, being selfless, helping others, going out of the way and helping anyone that you see around in need, even in the smallest possible way. So that's it from this video. I hope you liked it. Do hit the like button, subscribe to my channel for more such future updates. Thank you for watching.